Aloha. It's your time now, so just we'll put the clock on for 10 minutes and we'll try and include some questions in that if we have time.
I'll try to be short with that.
Yeah, hold it nice and close, that way we can.
My name is Mr. Slade, Laki Slade, and Madam Chair, thank you, members of the committee, for accepting us to come around and voice our concerns. I was fortunate enough to be one of those who received the citizenship 1982. All what the previous speaker, especially Mr. Aiken, who spoke, some member of parliament at the time or later, I remember. Because I took the queue 4:35 o'clock in the morning to make sure I'd be seen at 9:30. Hundreds and hundreds of people were taking that queue. And I was able to make that queue to put my application through. I got my citizenship. I'm here with my wife and my 6 children. Of those 6, they're all professional academic people. And they're serving New Zealand. But let me go back in that year. If all my friends and their parents who were entitled to this, but it was taken away from them, I can see them, most of them, down in the grave now. With all that wish and not wanting to go to where the grass is greener in their lives. They never did. I wish they would join me at 5:30 in the morning to join that queue and then push our way through and put the application through. Not only they will become New Zealand citizens, but they will serve New Zealand. They will serve New Zealand, their children. And I'm pretty sure someone was mentioning sports, okay, sports. But look at universities. Look at every other field. One young girl was on the radio last night. If no citizenship was given to her dad, she was resigned from a job as a chief structural engineer, just to look after her uncle, who was not involved. Well, this is the talking. But that's the same other feeling that our children, the children of those who we didn't make it, but they would contribute to the economy of New Zealand. New Zealand will have a different view of who those people were. They're supposed to come. I'm pretty sure there are not very too many of them who are living now in the Samoa. I'm pretty sure, lucky there's 4,000 people left, all died. With that feeling inside them, that was taken away from them. As previous speakers was said that there was no consultation. I joined that queue because I was told by someone else. But then, we were in the government service. We worked. We knew what was going on. Madam Chair, I'm here to support the bill to give back that citizenship back to our people. And I ask, please, that may you have a favorable consideration of our people here and present our cases. Without further ado, may you commit it.
Do you have any questions? Oh, no, we're going to, I thought we'll just do questions as we go, because it's just while it's fresh. Yeah.
Because my heart is going like this.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I can ask one. You spoke about people from Samoa. I think you used the phrase wanting to go where the grass is greener. Did I hear that right?
That was the feeling at the time. Just imagine if I wasn't able to be part of that group that was given the citizenship to come here. That's the wish of our parents, those who were entitled at the time.
And can you just tell us, just so that we've heard from you, Why do you think the grass is greener here than Samoa?
That's the difference. I'm 75.
Yeah,
I knew there's something better for me up in the future. Education was never the same, in no comparison with education in New Zealand at the time. So I would have come here. I would be the best member of parliament later on. It's I love arguing. I love telling people. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to come here. Just imagine how many of us at that age group who wanted to come here because we went to school. New Zealand was only giving about 22 scholarships a year at the time. And then we ended up swimming in the sea.
Any more questions? Yep, thanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You mentioned briefly in terms of you were one of the fortunate ones who did receive citizenship, but your friends at that stage didn't. And you mentioned parts of it, but I may have missed it. Would you mind just elaborating on? So what happened to them? Where did they end up?
Most of them ended up at the plantation. If you didn't make it to Form 4, Form 5, Form 6, with the selection processes for scholarship students, and you don't make it, you go back to the plantation. And that's where most of them are.
And supplementary. If you know of that, and if you still keep in touch with them, when the citizenship was revoked and they have to go through this reapplication process, what did that do to their morale? That
from 0 to 25.
Mm.
You're gonna push them right up. And they were smart people. They were people willing to work. Just give them the way, give them the right. And that right was taken away from them. And they would do it. Some of them came straight from the Royal Rugby in Samoa, using the coconut, whatever, straight into the All Blacks. I can mention the name of those. I can mention the name. I remember very well. Another winner. You know him, my friend. That's exactly what it is. Give us a job, and we'll help New Zealand, as New Zealanders. Because that's right, that was taken away from them. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Andy.
So just one question. So the experience you were counting was after the Privy Council decision. A lot of you and a lot of other people lining up to say, "Hey, we want to get our citizenship, our passport." What was it that you were going through at the time?
I was given the note that I got it. I said to my wife, "We signed, let's go to New Zealand."
Oh, so at that time you were in Samoa?
In Samoa. I had that good feeling that we're brave people. Go back to my greener grass. We pray for good advantages of our people and move forward. There were not enough at the time in Samoa for its people at the time. And the chance was given to us. Give us that chance. And when we got it, I held it with my both hands. Get my children, get my wife, take away from work, hop on a plane, takes 4.5 hours to come here. We came. Straight away, we never look back. I've got a lawyer. I've got a teacher. I've got an accountant. People who are all serving New Zealand and pay their taxes to New Zealand. I've been paying taxes to New Zealand ever since I got here 40-something years ago.
And then can you just walk us through then what happened with how it happened with the 1982 Act? So you had the Privy Council decision, right, we're in, and you had the Act, which was, oh, no, we're not anymore.
What's sad, it's very sad. unnoticed, unheard. We were sitting under the trees by the sea, with our feet wet by the sea waters, and said, I wish I would have been in New Zealand because of that particular.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And now,
Thank you.
yeah, now,
Madam Chair and members of the Select Committee, I acknowledge the Reverend Elder Laki Slade who just spoke previously, and thank you Leauanae for the opportunity. Kia ora and tāna whanawa, distinguished members. My name is Seumanu Simon Matafai, proud Kiwi-born Samoan. I am one of the youngest justices of the peace in Aotearoa of Pacific Percent, co-chair of the Auckland Council Pacific People's Advisory Panel, former local government politician, as the first Samoan elected to the local board of Auckland Council, and first Samoan delegate to the One Young World Summit. I'm an orator chief, ordained lay preacher of the Samoan Methodist Church, radio broadcaster, choir master, piano teacher, and consultant. My degrees include a master's in business administration, postgrad in law, bachelor's double major in music industry. I don't intend to carry on about myself, but just establishing the fruits of the dreams and aspirations of my parents when they migrated here in the 60s. Glory to God for the plethora of opportunities Aotearoa has blessed me and many other Samoans with here in this room. And I honor my parents, whose Lili 80, Se Oti Balalawa, and Seumanu Matafai. It is humbling to speak today for 5 minutes and 44 seconds, I already timed it, with the prodigious support of the community, namely the Fo Pasifika Trust, my local area of West Central Auckland, Pasifika Festival Villages Charitable Trust, the stewards of the world's largest Pacific festival held annually at Western Springs. I'm the chief executive of the Pacific Events and Entertainment Charitable Trust, a multi-facet group that delivers the Samoa New Zealand pageant, manages groups like the Auckland Gospel Choir and the Samoa Youth Show on Radio Samoa. Lastly, I serve as the community coordinator for the Methodist Church of Samoa and New Zealand Charitable Trust, a national body of 40 plus Samoan Methodist parishes from Greyland, Central Auckland, to Invercargill at the bottom of the South Island. Very cold down there. In essence, this is on behalf of thousands of Samoans and the wider community who support and endorse this proposed bill before Parliament. By now, as we've just heard eloquently, many speakers would have articulated impressive legal arguments, powerful anecdotes, and a lot of emotion and passion. For me, I wish not to dwell on the past, but to focus on the opportunity before us now and the future. Public law dictates the legal notion that Parliament is supreme, or parliamentary sovereignty, and the laws enacted also reflect the times of historical context. For example, the apartheid laws of South Africa, the anti-Semitic laws of Germany under Hitler, Jim Crow laws of the United States during the Civil Rights Movement. Valid laws in terms of due process and legal systems, but mirroring atrocious times of racism, prejudice, bigotry, and just pure evil. In Aotearoa, we pride ourselves being first to give women the right to vote, our anti-nuclear stance, and many accolades as a nation. This is the greatest nation on the planet. We have no shameful past, or do we? Just like the late MP, my dear friend and brother, who I honor today, Leauanae Zeprina Fale. He said in his maiden speech, no one stands invincible like a mountain. Everyone has faults. No one is perfect. Therefore, no past, present, or future parliament will be perfect also. I remember as a young skinny guy was here, a guest speaker who came to us, inspire us at Avondale College, the greatest school in New Zealand. He must have had some sausage rolls or something on his way in, because he had a mighty tomato stain that overpowered his speech and everything. He had a nice shirt on, good message and speech, but I couldn't take my eyes off the tomato stain. To this day, I don't recall the content of the speech, but just the stain. Similarly, could this bill be the Dettol antibacterial wipes for this legislative stain that has taken from many Samoans, snatched, stolen, oppressed, suppressed, marginalized, disenfranchised, and a bright future that could have been, but we would never know? It's 2024 where we take pride in our egalitarian, all-inclusive society. A new era where we can right the wrongs of the past, like recently the Dawn Raids apology by Prime Minister Ardern, the historical apology by Prime Minister Helen Clark in the early 2000s. And now, this humble biscuit Tim delivers us this private members bill to finally right a wrong, bring closure, peace, and justice. Aren't we family, Andy? Aren't we family, Tim, Rachel, and Dr. Lawrence? Aren't we family? Pacific brothers and sisters, covering 1/3 of the Earth's surface, our intertwined history, whakapapa, cultures, shared sense of home and future. I counted 10 Samoans in the new All Blacks, as noted previously. Esteemed members of the committee, Madam Chair, thousands have spoken through written and these oral submissions, and you have the opportunity now. Our current parliament has the opportunity now. It's time to wipe off this tomato sauce stain for our community to pursue a fresh beginning, another chapter towards an even brighter and prosperous future for all of Aotearoa.
We've got questions from committee members. Questions? No, I think you made a very, very clear submission, so thank you. Thank you. Where did you study music, by the way?
University of Auckland.
Oh, so did I, so here we go. Yeah.
Kia ora koutou katoa. My name is Leauanae Zeprina Fale, Director of Bluespur Consulting, who organized and sent down batches of submissions that your office, I think, was ready for. I'm glad to be before you today, Madam Chair. I'd like to also honor the two esteemed gentlemen that I have with me today. And this is an example of what opening our platforms for people to contribute and provide submissions would get us to. And this is where we're at today because of those opportunities. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to the bill. Today, I will not delve into the legal and moral obligations, nor the social and cultural benefits that passing this bill will bring. Instead, I want to provide some practical steps necessary when implementing the successful outcomes of this bill after its second and third reading. I'm very optimistic today. I will also be talking about some practical life experiences as an immigrant to New Zealand, and also for bringing and looking after a parent from Samoa who was born in 1946. First and foremost, I want to state that I fully support the complete remission of the Western Samoa Citizenship Act 1982. And all those born between 1924 and 1949, along with their descendants, should have their New Zealand citizenship reinstated as if it were never removed. So how do we do this? I recommend a simple process of registration and confirmation of birth in Samoa or two Samoan parents within the years in question in the bill. Those born in Samoa between 1924 and 1949 who are still alive and which too can register their details with the nearest New Zealand High Commission providing proof of birth in Samoa or elsewhere to Samoan parents during the relevant time period of the Act. A simple registration with proof of birth should suffice without needing to reapply. Once their registration has been completed, their details confirmed, and citizenship should then be granted. Once granted, they should be entitled to pensions and travel concessions similar to those in New Zealand. This process can be implemented in a phased approach of not more than 1 year. The descendants of those born during this period should also register their details and provide proof of lineage and birth through their birth certificates. Their citizenship should be granted following the reinstatement of their parents' citizenship. This can also be done in a phased approach after prioritizing getting those born in the period in question processed first. I also acknowledge that there are those who are New Zealand residents and or citizens from Samoa but are not entitled to pension, travel concessions, etc. yet. I recommend that these people should be granted these benefits effective at the successful conclusion of this bill. My mother was born in 1946, and like Reverend Laki, we also lined up, but we didn't meet the cutoff. We got in front of the gate before it was slammed shut. However, my mother received her citizenship in 2023 after 7 long years of processing. Unfortunately, my father, who was born in 1947, passed away in 2022 without receiving his citizenship. I have 4 siblings, 3 of whom are New Zealand and Australian citizens living overseas with their children. We only have 1 sibling remaining in Samoa to care for our parents. This situation is likely common for many affected by this bill. While fewer than 5,000 individuals born between 24 and 49 are still alive, many may already be New Zealand or Australian citizens along with their children. A recent New Zealand Herald story from May 14, 2024 stated that New Zealand's net migration loss of citizens exceeded 50,000 this year, with many skilled and young individuals moving overseas. The expected migration from Samoa under this bill, in addition to the RSE scheme, which brings on average 10,000 people from the Pacific Islands, will not even come close to filling the gap needed to sustain and jumpstart New Zealand's economy. Descendants being of working age are likely to find employment or start businesses, supporting their elderly family members and contributing to New Zealand's economy. They also likely will provide future All Blacks, Silver Ferns, Warriors, depending if they do well, Olympic athletes, business owners, and members of parliament, continuing the legacy of figures like the late Whananai Efeso Collins, Leauanae Lydia Sosene, former National List MP for T. Agnes Loheni, and former Deputy PM Carmel Sepolomi. My family migrated to New Zealand in 2011. My husband and I have never received unemployment benefits. Instead, we have worked hard and owned a business, contributing to the economy through PAYE, company and income taxes, GST, and donations to community organizations. We purchased our home in 2016 and are law-abiding citizens. My children attend university and contribute to the economy through their part-time jobs, their volunteer work, and general teenage consumption. The bottom line is that fear of a significant influx of Samoans exploiting New Zealand's benefit system and resources are unfounded. The claim of a healthcare drain is often exaggerated. My mother, whom I mentioned, who gained her citizenship 2 years ago, does not suffer from high blood pressure or diabetes. Her minor ailments cost only 100 Samoan tara, which is equivalent to 60 New Zealand dollars per year. This is negligible. and descendants granted citizenship who are of working age will contribute through taxes, as I and many others do. I have benefited from career and job fairs, business mentorship from the Pacific Business Trust, the Generator Fund, the Ministry for Pacific Peoples Pacific Village, and other service providers supporting new and emerging businesses. There is even a Pacific Settlement Service to help resettle those moving to New Zealand. New Zealand already has the support services to assist descendants in finding jobs and starting businesses. The existing settlement support services help new families settle successfully in New Zealand. What I'm trying to say here is that New Zealand already has the enabling environment that will help Samoa succeed and contribute to both New Zealand and Samoa's economy. Our history tells of our people who traversed the high seas in search of opportunities long before the white man decided to explore the oceans. And it is in the same spirit of resilience and adventure that I advocate for our people today. Many acknowledge a housing shortage in New Zealand. However, some of our elderly prefers visiting or staying in Samoa while visiting family during cultural events like funerals, weddings, birthdays, and church dedications. And due to our strong family values, we've always welcomed and accommodated visiting families temporarily until they secure long-term housing. So housing is not an issue. Finally, I believe that other arrangements between New Zealand and Samoa, such as the quota system, which requires restructuring due to inefficiencies, may I add, RSE, scholarship support, trade agreements, and aid initiatives should not be adversely affected, as they are unrelated, in my view, and it is crucial for New Zealand to maintain its presence amidst China's growing influence in the Pacific region. I believe that your committee has been presented with overwhelming evidence to support the legal, moral, economic, and cultural benefits to supporting this bill, and I am hopeful that you will do justice to what's been presented to you already. As the famous writer Upton Sinclair once noted, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Let us not follow the path of those who, despite clear evidence, choose otherwise. Now, the power to make a significant and positive impact lies in your hands. But time.
We've got one or two quick questions. Have you got any questions from the committee? No? Tim? Yep, you got time for one quick question.
Can I please ask about one thing that I haven't heard about from before from anyone else? And you spoke about people who have got citizenship but don't get the same travel concessions as others. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, there's a stand-down period for example, my mother who was awarded citizenship, but she was told she can only get any concession after 10 years of being in New Zealand.
Okay.
I've got a quick question from Lawrence and then we'll wrap up.
No, it's just an acknowledgement to the both of you for honoring Banana. Thank you.
Very quickly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've got 1 minute left and then we're going to wrap up.
Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation today. Really appreciate it. And so the committee will now take a break until 3:05.